All right, everybody, welcome back. In this segment, we are going to talk about annotations, your own speech first, okay? Ask yourself, why do we need to annotate? Just ask yourself, you don't need to answer me. I want to save time here. You highlight textbook, you take note down here and there. That is part of annotation. And how does it help with your studies? How does it help with your understanding of the person's message or speech? Write down number one, step one, when you need to annotate something or analyze someone's speech, read. Definitely read. Read the whole thing first. Don't have to worry so much about how much you're getting it. Okay? Read the whole thing. When you read that, look for common devices the author use. Okay? Like repetition, sentence structure. I don't know. You look, you will see that. Sometimes word choices, you will feel the degree of formality. So you read what you have written. This is from our own speech, right? Some of you send me your script. I don't have time to look at every single thing. That's why I decided to teach you how to annotate your own work for now. Okay? So number one is to read and do a little marking here and there. Now look at your own literary devices that you always use in your speech. Do you use a lot of short sentences? Do you use a lot of clauses? Few clauses in one sentence, that is not a good way to write a speech, right? So when we write a speech for this purpose, for people to listen, try to make it like a short sentence, but not so short until sound like a childish way of speaking. Don't do that. So you observe the common devices that the author or the speaker uses, okay? Observe the use of inclusive, the pronoun we. If you want to convince people, you want to be persuasive, use the word we. So step two, often used devices, especially punctuation, capital letters, paragraph break. It's just like poetry. Sometimes you see the line break, or if you see run-on sentences. That kind of technique, the author used that on purpose. Observe that. Okay, next time, observe that. Which one that stands out and caught your attention? Not just the meaning itself, okay? Look at the person writing style too. Then the next one is look for the sentences or words that support the message. CSI 6, examiner gonna ask you what would be the message, the purpose. You will see that in the guideline there. Step 3, you write down or you annotate what come to your mind. Okay, whatever that you already know, like, write it down, like a structure of the speech. Examiner gonna ask you guys, okay, and even listen to you guys whether your speech has proper structure. We are going for 5-finger, grade 3, remember, we told you 5-finger structures, opening, intro, progression, conclusion, and closing. That kind of structure. In every speech, there is such structure. So find it where, okay, and how long, and which paragraph is the ending or beginning of the introduction or progression. You will see it when you look at your own writing. And then is there any quotations in the text, any references that the author used? Something like according to someone. Look for that reference. That shows that you have done your research. So the examiner can see if you are analyzing somebody else's speech, there are some clues to show us that It's the research that is there. You just have to look. Okay. Another point you have to look in any text is the intention and the effect. Intention and effect. Okay. What sort of intention is stated there? Are they planning to persuade you, to make you buy something, to make you angry? There's the intention there. It's different from purpose. Okay, look at the intention. Yep. And effect is like, how does this speech affect you, your emotion, your feeling? Are you convinced? Yeah. So that kind of rhetorical triangle again, which is the old thing. Okay. So grade 6, grade 5, grade 6, the rhetorical triangle, that part, go back to that note. Etho, patho, logos. Grade 5, task 2 is inverted pyramid. Okay, these two theories are most important that we all must use. You must know how. So rhetorical triangle, you need to use to analyze your audience. In the speech, CSI 6 people listen up. In any script, any speech, there are elements of all these rhetorical triangle in it. But you must be really clear when you want to explain rhetorical triangle, because if you cannot explain etho, pathos, logos in your word confidently, don't. Rephrase it. Use something else. Like, I think the author trying to convince me to do something. I feel it when I read this. Don't try to use ethos or pathos. Don't have to. Okay, but if you can, go ahead, use it. That's all. Because this is university levels of things that I teach you guys. All right. So other than that, use your own word. It's good enough. Let's go for the next section, which is how to annotate a speech. Maybe the whole phrase you don't understand. So you give it parenthesis there to remind yourself, oh, I need to look up this part. Don't always highlight, you know, don't do that. Let's do this way. Let's see if it's helpful to you guys. Okay. Give yourself parenthesis to the place where you need to look up, where you don't understand. Okay, now it's a sequence of annotating. Before you read, you need to look at the title to keep yourself focused. You look at the speech title, you look at the book title, you look at the news headline. When you read the headline, you pretty much know, oh, the whole article is like this. You don't need to do much of the reading. You just scan through the text. You pretty much can guess, okay? So look at the title. If there's a subtitle, look at that as well. That's a clue. Very important clue. Next, scan through the whole thing. Try to get the overall meaning. And then identify the information about the speaker. This one examiner is practicing, is using. They identified who you are. They profiling you. They analyzing you as you are giving a speech. So when you read a speech, a text, same thing. There must be some information about the speaker. Okay, like Michael B. Root. He's a graphic designer. Next, read aloud. CSI 5 people, task 2, you have to read aloud. Force yourself to do that. Record yourself. Playback. Listen to yourself. Okay, so when you analyze people's speech, don't keep quiet. Don't read silently. Read aloud. Read it aloud to visualize how the author or the speaker is giving this speech or delivering this speech. You may list down something that you already know. It's about your general knowledge. You use this technique for other subject, then you'll be fine. You can do self-studies, okay? After you read, this is what you do. You will summarize the key point. I don't have the sample with me right now, but I usually do a lot of arrow out. I use like arrow or intro, opening, logo, pathos. So you guys must ask your parent to buy you a printer. Print the text out. Don't think you are a digital kid, okay? You are not capable of studying digitally totally yet. Okay, then after you read, you must summarize the whole thing in your own word. We always ask you to give an overview. So grade 6, examiner gonna ask you, give me an overview of this speech. Then you will come up with it. We will go through that soon, right? An overview of that on your own. So your overview should go back to beginning, middle, and end. Same stuff, all right? Then while you give an overview, you are going to formulate your opinion. Without opinion, you're like a robot. When you are stuck, you don't know what to say. Your opinion, your personal story will save your day. Quickly apply or relate to your personal stories. Okay, this story remind me of so and so, so and so. Be quick with your response in the exam room, okay? So that's what I meant. Formulate your opinions. You agree or you disagree, and that's about it. I agree with the speaker or I disagree. Next, make a connection. Like I said, you know, whatever we read, we need to connect, right, to the person, to the story. Even you watch movie, you could connect to the character in some way, you know. So you read book, connect, make the connection. Then ask yourself a question that we always have a reflection when we do things here, right? So ask ourselves a question. What do we learn from this text, what this speech or whatever? Analyze the speaker's overall tone of voice. Yes, it's a text. You don't hear the person speak, but you can feel that, right? The tone of voice. You can hear that what kind of tone this person give it to you. Is he speaking in a very harsh, powerful, loud voice? Because it's like, let's say, speaking at the Merdeka celebration, for example. So the voice, the tone of voice is in there, in that speech. Okay? Another one, analyze the speaker's point of view. It's different from his or her tone of voice, okay? Point of view is in there, it's in the speech. That person point of view is very strongly against this issue, for example. You will feel that, okay? Spot that point of view. We write a comment and reaction or reflection on what we have read. So now let me reflect or connect to CSI 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, just now I addressed the CSI 6, right? Analyzing the speech. Now I want you to connect this information you get today to your own speeches, your own task, right? Examiner is not going to look into that detail with grade 3, grade 4, not that detail, but you learn first. Show us your annotation, take a picture. Teacher, I've annotated my thing here. Can you have a look? Show us, okay, you have worked for yourself this way. And when the examiner, grade 4, okay, when the examiner asks you, how did you prepare for your task 1 or 2? You could say, oh, I did a lot of annotation on my own speech writing, and here are the drafts that I have made. Last part is the, let's go to practice your speech. My way, my way, my way. I don't know other people way, okay? Number one, like I said, practice using an outline only. You need to break up your practice session. Spread it out, okay? Your session, your practice time into probably 3 times a week. And when you practice this session, try to focus on one or two things only. Many of your questions said how to improve my vocal projection, how to sound confident, okay? So you ask me those questions, right? Break it down. Tell yourself, this practice, I want to be louder, whatever. Tell yourself so. Then do just that. Try to practice 3 times within 3 days. Number 3 is like focus on one or two things that you want to improve. I mean that one, okay? Number 3, sorry. Number 4, this is so important. Keep your practice session realistic. When you have to be in the real working world, like when you are giving a speech, people will make noise, right? And people will interrupt you. The phone will ring. I'm not sending you out in the garden for like relaxing or so. My intention is for you to get used to different environment when you practice. Visualize the real place that you are going to speak at. That's what I meant by be realistic. Don't just imagine. A lot of you, when you step into this exam room, you whisper because it's a small room and you feel like, oh, I don't need to shout. I don't need to speak up. You are wrong. If we cannot hear your voice from outside, examiner may not hear you at all. Even if she or he hear you, there is no energy in your voice and it will affect your grade again. Hearing your voice and feel the energy is different thing. Okay, so when you practice, listen, play back to your recording and go accordingly, adjust. Number 5, visualize your opening and closing. I mentioned that before, remember? Opening, do not look down. When you introduce yourself, you guys like to look at your note. I don't know why. Every time when you start, introduce yourself, you like, hi, my name is someone. You would somehow look away or look down. Why? The first 30 seconds, don't look away. Look directly at the camera. Say what you have to say. Memorize it if you have to. The first 30 seconds. Talk show hosts, they do that. They are not allowed to look left, right, or anywhere. They are trained to look at the camera. Newscaster, okay? Broadcaster, YouTuber, they are trained to look at the camera for the first 15 seconds, 30 or so, beginning and ending. You observe anything, they will start something like that. This is how they captivate you. All right. So first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds, very important. For this one, we've been doing it. Share your practice, your advice often. If you have some strategy that work for you, share with people. Okay? Knowledge is about sharing. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid people will laugh at you or what. Don't be afraid that people will think you are a show off. So don't have that kind of thought here. Okay? So when examiner asks you, what's the best thing that you love about your delivery? Then you can be so proud to share that with the examiner. Or I love the way I articulate my thought here and there. Yeah. Okay. I know this is a lot for you to take in today, but I think that will help you a lot for your practice.